Susan in Oregon, pronouns are she, her, wants to talk a little bit about a soul.
Yes.
How you doing, Susan?
Yes. Okay.
Good. Thank you. Well, I don't know if soul would be the right word, but we can put any word that we want on it. But there is that which when you strip away the body and mind of a person, what remains of person?
Nothing.
So I would say that there is something, and that we could call it soul. And
how do you prove that? Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so and I'll give you some examples of where we can see this besides a human. Like they have like really advanced artificial intelligence models right now, like GPT-3, and you can interview GPT-3 and talk to it, and or him, her, she. I don't know pronouns for GPT-3 because they don't give it memory. They don't let it have like long-term
identity.
It doesn't have identity. But but it has so that's one of the things that's stripped away, but it has thoughts and feelings. And
how do you know that it has feelings?
It reports to have thoughts and feelings. It's self-identified.
Hang on. Susan, you stated that you believe there's a soul because once you strip away the body and the mind, there's still something left. And Shannon and I both asked you what evidence you had that there was still something left. At a minimum, when you're talking, Susan, hang on. I hadn't gotten done yet. At a minimum, when you're talking about GPT-3, you are not talking about something that doesn't have a body and a mind. Yeah. If you're talking about software running on a computer, that is directly analogous to the body and the mind here. Show me an AI that doesn't have any sort of software or hardware, and that would be analogous to a soul from a human with no body or mind.
Well, but software is just like a configuration of the universe that we have assigned meaning to. It isn't there. I can't point you to software anywhere because it is just a pattern.
You're talking to us over software right now.
Yeah, I used to be a software engineer, so you're just flat wrong about software. I've written it, I've debugged it, I've tested it. You're just wrong.
Like even getting away from the AI. So like Matt just basically said what I was going to say, which is that you're giving an example where there's a physical thing that you're interacting with. So let's focus in on humans. Let's focus in on people. Why do we have, what evidence do you have that we have souls?
But this thing doesn't have memory. So when they strip away the memory and start it over, it has certain qualities, like it has tendencies towards altruism and curiosity. And
it's also programmed by an algorithm. It's programmed by an algorithm, though, right? So
in the same way that children are predisposed to learn things and trust, etc. Yeah. But you said you had evidence for a soul absent a body or mind. Can you present evidence for a soul absent a body and mind?
Yes, please.
No, I would say it's definite. I was just saying it's something we could define as that which you strip when you strip those things away, those qualities of leading towards altruism.
Why do you believe in it then? If you don't have any evidence for it, why do you believe in it?
No, all right. Well, then the evidence would be that as we increase the model size on things like AI, it has more altruism and curiosity. And so although your intelligence is not what makes us what we are, because that's variable throughout our lifetime, that property of intelligence leading towards altruism, all those properties, that would be the soul, and it'd be one soul for everybody because it'd be the property of our increased intelligence leading towards these properties and things like that,
No, I don't know. To me, that sounded like a massive amount of bullshit.
Am I speaking word salad?
A little bit.
It's not. No, I wouldn't say it's quite word salad, but it's like you seem to. So the thing is, when you say you believe there's a soul, absent a body and mind, but you admit that you don't have evidence for it. And when Shannon pushed, then why do you believe it? Then you start talking about AI and what AI can do. Well, irrespective of what AI can do, we know what I can do. And that requires a body and a mind. And AI, by the way, requires a body and a mind in the sense of software and hardware. But none of it carries with it the characteristics that we would typically apply to a soul. As a matter of fact, it's why originally you were saying that it was kind of like personhood, but the problem is that personhood doesn't exist. Personhood is a concept. It is a label that we apply to those things that have personage, the things that have sentience and agency and self-reflective, those sorts of things, particularly within humans. And so personhood doesn't exist. Souls, as far as we can tell,
as a concept.
Concepts. Okay. Susan, does Narnia exist?
As a concept only, but not in the context
sure.
of the way you said exists.
Yes, and if you called into a show and said you believed that Narnia was real, and then you said, "Well, it's a concept," why would anybody pay any attention any further? I mean, I can say all kinds of, "Hey, I'm calling in to tell you unicorns are a real concept. Bigfoot's a real concept." I care about whether or not it's a real, actual thing, not a concept. Whether we have concepts for everything. There's a concept for anything you want to imagine the instant you imagine it.
But we make decisions about how to treat people based on personhood or whether they have a soul and that kind of thing. So
No. I don't think people have a soul. And so my decisions, that doesn't factor into any of the decisions I make about how to treat people. I don't think that they have a soul. So that doesn't factor in. Period. Full stop.
Fair.
Yeah.
But personhood.
It doesn't matter. It's fine to take a concept like adult. There's no such thing as adult. We define when adulthood begins, and it's completely or mostly arbitrary. We have some reasons for it, but we say, okay, at 18, you can start doing this. But that doesn't mean that 18 is magic. It doesn't mean that adult is some real thing that exists. These are constructs that we engage in. That's not at all like saying we believe there's a soul.
So we might not say adulthood exists, but we might say adulthood is a thing. We might not say souls exist, but we might say souls are a thing.
They're not.
Does that make sense?
Apart from a concept, do you think souls exist as anything? Do you think a soul exists as anything other than a concept?
No, but I think concepts are
important.
important.
Then I have no more interest in discussing this, because if I started taking calls from people who said, I believe this and it's only a concept. I believe Bigfoot's only a concept. I believe Jesus is only a concept. I believe soul. Do you see the problem here? I need to talk to people who think that there really is a soul, not just a concept of a soul.
Fair enough. I'm a long-time listener. I won't take any more of your time. Hopefully you get a good DS.
Appreciate it. Thanks, Susan.
Thanks, Susan.
All right. Bye.
I agree. Concepts
exist,
but only as brain states.
Oh, I agree with that too.